My name is Connor Ashley. I'm a financial minimalist, and today I'm going to show you the fastest ways to pay off your debt right now. These are actionable steps that you can start today to pay down your debt. You're likely here because you might be overwhelmed by your high interest rates, your maxed out credit cards, and your huge monthly payments. If you're like me, when I was in debt, I just felt so overwhelmed by it and like it was literally consuming my life. It was constantly there, it was constantly looming over me, and it just changed my entire life because I was, so obsessed over this large amount of debt. But I'm here to let you know that you can get out of debt and you can pay down your cards, your mortgage, whatever it is, you can get out of debt. You can change your mindset around debt so that it doesn't consume your life. Trust me, I know how it feels. Debt is completely overwhelming, but today I'm gonna share the tools that I use to help me get out of debt quickly with long-lasting results. Alrighty, so the first step to get out of debt quickly is to like this video for the YouTube algorithm so that other people see it and other people can learn how to get out of debt quickly too, because then you're gonna have good karma and it's gonna help you get out of debt quicker, hopefully, right? No, but seriously, the first step to getting out of debt is changing your mindset around debt. Now, I think a lot of people forget that there is good debt and there is bad debt. A lot of people constantly say, oh, never be in debt. You don't want to have a mortgage. You don't want to have, all this debt looming over you. Now, what I want you to remember is that you have to change your mindset around debt and understand that there is good debt and that there is bad debt. Good debt is usually debt that, helps you produce income. It turns debt, which is a liability, into an asset. It's about changing your mindset. If you're not going to change your mindset, then you're going to be consumed by debt. You can have, $1,000 in debt, or you can have $500,000 in debt. And if you don't change your mindset, that $1,000 of debt is going to feel like it's $500,000. But unless you win the lottery, it's not going to go away overnight. That's not going to happen. So what you can do first is to change your mindset. Just understand that it isn't going to go away overnight. That's not how it's going to happen. And the sooner you make amends with that, the sooner the stress and weight on your shoulders of debt will be lifted. When I was in a large amount of debt and I was starting to pay it off, I just thought to myself, well, this is an essential cost at this point. I already spent the money. There's nothing that I can do to just make it vanish. So instead of stressing about that huge number, I'm gonna break it up and look at what my monthly payments are. And now it's almost become like an extension of my rent or an extension of a car payment. And when you think about it like that and weave it into your budget, then you're going to have a much calmer feeling about it, and knowing that you're going to be paying off this amount every single month and it's just like a normal bill, like an electric bill or like a water bill, that's really going to help take a lot of the stress and pressure off for you. Okay, so the second step in this process is to look at all of your debt. This is going to be a little overwhelming, but don't let it get to you. What you want to do is gather all of your statements, look at everything, all of your credit cards, all of your mortgage, all your student loans, your medical bill, whatever your debt is, gather it all together and look at what that total amount is. Not only do you want to look at the total amount of debt, you want to look at the types of debt and look at what the interest rates are. Now, a lot of times for credit cards, you may not know right off the bat what your interest rate is, but it'll usually say on your statement. So once you print out or look at your most recent statements, you're going to be able to figure out what your interest rates are. This way we can look at a wide view of what all of your debt is and start to then break it down into more manageable steps and looking at what's most important to pay off the quickest. Now, you'll always want to be paying the minimum payment no matter what on everything. A late payment is going to slowly ruin your credit score. So we want to make sure that everything has autopay set up. The things with the highest interest rates are the ones that we're going to be paying off and focusing on first. So now that you've looked at your total amount of debt and all of these things, what you want to do is step 3, and this is to look at your budget. If you don't have a monthly budget, well, you need to get one. You need to make one, make a monthly budget for yourself. I like to write it down because I like to, I feel like once I put it in writing, it's real. It is something that I have to stick by. If you haven't, check out my video all about money saving tips and how to create a budget on any income level. I share with you my budget. Now, figure out how paying off your debt works into this budget, because you have to pay your minimum monthly payments, whatever that is, you have to pay it. So make sure, when you see all of your debt, write down what the minimum monthly payments are. So for your Amex card, for your Discover card, for your mortgage, write down the minimum monthly payments and factor that into your budget. Now, you're gonna have to look at your budget, probably cut back on some discretionary spending. I think that a lot of people work themselves up over the amount of debt that they have and over the monthly payments that they have to pay. And this is because they're gonna have to drastically change your budget. You're gonna have to make some serious sacrifices in your budget. But I think people don't realize that you're spending too much money in general on things that aren't making you happy, on things that aren't adding personal value to your life. So of course, once you've looked at all of your debt, what you wanna do is figure out what has the highest interest rates, and we're going to put a priority on those to pay those off first, because you're spending the most amount of money on those debts that are hanging out. So you want to really prioritize based on interest rates as to what to pay off first. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the different kinds of debt that you may have and what to really put your importance on, because I think a lot of people are lost and they're just paying their minimum monthly payments, maybe throwing a couple extra $100 here, a couple $100 extra here. Alrighty, so the first one that I'm going to go over is credit cards. Credit cards are bad debt. They're almost always bad debt. The interest rates are almost always so high. I know my interest rates are like 25% or something just ridiculous like that. So this is what you should put most of your importance on for the most part, because these are going to have the highest interest rates. Now, you always want to make the minimum monthly payment on your credit cards. Now, to do this, set everything on auto pay. Set every bill that you have, every debt that you have on auto pay, so that you don't even have to think about it, and put whatever that minimum monthly payment is on auto pay and put that into your budget immediately, so that you know that that's going to be coming out of your account every single month. Now, look at your cards, look at which ones have the highest interest rates. Maybe they all have higher interest rates, but those are the ones that you're going to need to start paying off first. Knowledge is power, and if you have knowledge about each one of the debts that you have, then you're going to be in control and you're going to have power over those debts. So make sure you know your interest rates, know your monthly payments, know everything inside and out, so that you can create a good strategy for yourself to getting those paid down. And whatever is left over at the end of the month, you need to be taking that and paying it towards your highest interest debt first. What I did was I looked for cards that were having balance transfer promotions. Now what that means is that you can transfer a balance from one credit card to the next credit card at a lower interest rate. And oftentimes with these promotions, that interest rate is 0%. And I've seen 0% for a year to 0% for over 2 years. And so what I did was I found the best balance transfer offers that I thought that I might be able to qualify for, and I did those. Now, this is why it's important to keep working on your credit while you're paying off your debt, trying to raise your credit limits, keeping all of your payments on time, so that way you can qualify for something like this. What I did was I found 2 or 3 credit cards that were having balance transfer promotions, and essentially you transfer the balance from one credit card that has a 25% interest rate onto this credit card, and for the 15, 12, 20 months, that balance is on the new credit card. It has a 0% interest rate. That way it gives you some time to focus on your other higher interest cards before starting to pay off that one. Look at what your highest interest cards are and immediately transfer all that you can onto the card that's going to have 0% interest for 12, 20 months. And you are still going to have to pay the monthly minimum payment on that. But that's what I would do on that balance for now. and then go back to whatever your high interest cards are and start paying off those ones. Medical bills are so annoying, and it's just a broken system, but essentially, you might be surprised to know that a lot of your medical bills will go into collections rather quickly. First, if something is in collections, what you can actually do is go onto your credit report and dispute the collections. And if they don't reply because they're so busy or it just isn't worth it to them because they have other bigger debts to collect that will make them more money, then honestly, sometimes they don't even reply. And if they don't reply, it gets taken off your credit. There you go. Problem solved, right? So start that way. Dispute every collection on your credit report and just see what happens, because the worst they can say is no, and it stays on there. And then what you're going to do is call the collections and work out a deal with them. These people are like, salesmen, like really, really tough to deal with, but they want to make money. And so what you can do is you can work out deals with them to pay a lot less than what they're asking, or set up some sort of payment plan. Now, what you want to do is, if that's the route you're going to go, make sure you get a written, agreement from them that this will fall off your credit report in X amount of days or whenever it's paid off, and that it will not reappear. Because what happens is sometimes collections will get resold to other collections companies, and then it'll reappear again onto your credit report. So if that happens and you dispute it and you show the company or the credit bureau that you have this written agreement from the last collections company, that it would fall off your credit report. Please, don't get a car loan. You don't need a car loan. Unless the car is making you money because you're renting it out or using it for Uber or using it for Lyft, it is bad debt, because cars are never an investment unless it's a collector's edition, or you're using it to Uber around, or you're renting it on Turo. I don't know what you're doing, but for the average person, it is not a investment, so you shouldn't be getting a loan on a car, okay? I don't care if you want the nicest, newest BMW, all right, or Mercedes-Benz. It's not good, all right? Unless you are a millionaire, you don't need a Mercedes-Benz. Who the hell cares what people think of you driving around in a Toyota Prius? Hell, I don't even have a car. I have a bicycle. They've never judged me for my car because I don't have a Mercedes, because I don't have a damn car to even drive. I avoid judgment altogether because they've never seen my car, because it doesn't exist. So please don't get a car loan. But if you did get a car loan, well, here's what we're going to do. For the most part, car loans can be really high interest. And since it's usually a big purchase, this high interest is not lovely. So what you can do is you can refinance it to get a lower interest rate, and that's going to help you, lower your monthly payment. But remember that even with a low payment, say it's $195 a month, a little special that the dealer's throwing, not really $195 a month, because you got to pay for insurance and gas and maintenance and all these things, taxes, registration, plates, all these overwhelming things. And now it's a $500 a month car, and you're driving a goddamn Ford Fiesta. This is a personal subject for me, people, because I was driving a goddamn Ford Fiesta, paying like $500-600 a month for it. So guess what I did? I got the hell rid of that car, and I will never be buying another car unless I'm a goddamn millionaire and I can buy a Tesla. And if you owe that much on the car, think about selling it and using whatever's left over to then go buy yourself a car that is more reasonable for your income level. The majority of people have a car loan, so don't stress out about a car loan, okay? Pay it off every month. It should be worked out into your budget. They give you the loan based on how much money you make. So you should have enough money to be paying that off, but try to get rid of it or lower it and take whatever's left over and put it towards your credit cards, because those have a higher interest rate, I can guarantee you. I don't know why everyone freaks out about student loan debt. If you have it from the government, like the unsubsidized, direct subsidized loan thing here, it isn't a high interest rate. It's like under 4%, I think. So me personally, I would say don't pay off your student loans. Don't worry about paying off your student loans. Don't focus on that right now. If you hit the lottery and you paid off all your other debts and you still got some damn student loans, sure, go for it. I would pay it off. But don't stress out about student loans because the interest rate is low, and if it's not low, you need to refinance, or then you need to start focusing on paying that high interest rate loan off first, like you would with your credit cards. But for the majority of people, if you have, one of these government loans, then the interest rate is going to be lower, and you don't need to stress out so much about paying it back, and it's very flexible. Like, these aren't like credit cards where it's like, this is your monthly payment. Minimum. You have to pay this every single month. You call them up and you're like, hey, I don't make enough goddamn money to pay it. So you just show them your tax returns and then you can get yourself on an income-based repayment plan. That's what I would do right now. But here's the thing. Do not miss a student loan payment. Even if it's $0, you still have to set up an auto payment. Trust me, I learned that, all right? Even if your payment's $0, which I've had a $0 payment, you got to set up that auto pay to make it appear like you're paying $0 a month. Alrighty guys, so just remember, you have to change your mindset about your debt. You need to really be knowledgeable about all of your debt. How much do you owe in total? How much do you owe per each debt? What are the interest rates? When are your minimum monthly payments? And make sure you set them on auto pay. Focus on your high interest debt first. Think about doing some balance transfers, some refinancing, or getting rid of things that are costing you money every month, like a car loan. Work on your collections if anything is in a collection, and don't stress too much about student loans or mortgage loans. Make sure to adjust your budget to now include all these monthly payments that you're going to be making. Remember, make the minimum monthly on everything and put whatever is left over at the end of the month from your budget into the highest interest debt. You start with one, move to the next, and so on. To do this, you have to make sacrifices. And again, you're gonna find that just because you're not spending as much money on going out to dinner, likely will not have that big of an impact on your happiness. And what's gonna make you happier is seeing all these debts disappear. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I believe in you. You will be able to get out of debt and, learn how to use debt or credit wisely. And you will learn with some practice and you will get there and get your debt to zero. I did it. It took me a while, but I was diligent. I changed my lifestyle and I was able to do it, and I feel a lot happier, a lot less overwhelmed, and you will too. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more content on minimalism, personal finance, real estate, and investing. Thank you again, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.